You ever feel a strange sadness as dusk falls? They say it's the only time our world intersects with theirs. The only time we can feel the lingering regrets of the spirits who have left our world. And that's why loneliness always pervades in the hour of twilight. Man, Twilight Princess is a masterpiece that doesn't get the recognition it deserves. It gave us the best version of Link, the best companions, the best dungeon, the best art style, the best world, amazing music, perfect atmosphere and more. So today I'm going to be talking about why this is my favourite game of all time. This is not a review, this is me talking about things I love. So to start, we're going to talk about the most important part of any game. This game shines the most with its atmosphere. The Sacred Grove is an overgrown ancient place covered in greenery, and this game's version of Gerudo Desert is an empty wasteland. But at the heart of this world is Hyrule Field, a large area surrounding the castle full of caves and secrets to find. Riding through this area during night and day are two greatly different experiences, one having a grand orchestral track boosting the player's courage and excitement, and the other being an isolating, melancholic ride while ghostly singing plays. Making for two greatly contrasting experiences by doing the same activity but at a different time. The towns and homes of Hyrule are also amazing. Zora's Domain being a lively location made up of sparkling waterfalls and Zoras swimming and just living their best lives. Ordon Village is an amazing starting area full of comfort and is great at setting up Link's character, but we'll get to that later. The Twilight Realm is a place that's full of abnormal imagery and eerie music, sounding like something from Silent Hill, and the enemy design, man, these things are creepy. Snow Peak has to be one of the loneliest areas in Zelda, with a constant angelic vocal with occasional piano notes adding to the isolation felt when in the mountain. Heading up the mountain, you'll encounter a Yeti, and after doing some of the nasty escape moves, you'll find out he lives in an abandoned mansion with his wife. We don't know who it belonged to originally, but going through it we see paintings of what could have been a royal family forgotten by time. Arbiter's Grounds is an abandoned prison where people were kept to wait for their death, or to be banished to the Twilight Realm, and is still haunted by those who passed. The City in the Sky is a heavenly, dreamlike home for these things, and the city runs on many ancient complex machines that are far more advanced than anything found in Hyrule, like spinning propellers to keep the city in air. The Forest Temple is the carcass of a once great tree, once again linking to a lot of the dungeon's themes about being forgotten and lost to time. Apart from some like the Goron Factory, a lot of these dungeons are lesser forms of their past selves. Another thing these dungeons do amazingly that adds to the atmosphere is the boss fights, each being climactic conclusions to the dungeons they were in. While not being the best mechanically, they still work great as conclusions to the locations. Some of the best being the dragon and that big fish. However, none of what I said matters because the best area is easily the town with all the cats. And on the topic of animals, this game's staple feature is Link can turn into a wolf now and is helped from the best companion we've seen in the series. The wolf isn't as complex or fun as Link, mainly because you unlock all the wolf's abilities as soon as you can play as it. Link has a lot more things he can do with his combat, being able to learn moves from a golden wolf, who when spoken to turns into the hero spirit. The hero spirit is the Link from Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask, filled with regrets from not being able to pass on the lessons of his life to those who came after him, after he was set back to his childhood. He also lamented the fact that he was not remembered as a hero. In order to ease his regrets and finally pass on his knowledge, he teaches 7 hidden skills to his descendant, Arling. Even Link, the guy who's supposed to be the hero and succeed, failed in this world. but still hasn't gave up and chooses to pass down his skills and teachers because their sword has no strength unless the hand who holds it has courage. This game is the best set of dungeons from a Zelda game. Even though they aren't the most complicated in the series, they make up for that by being more of an experience and a test of your knowledge, with all the dungeons having memorable moments like when the monkey swung you in the forest dungeon. All of the dungeons blend into the world seamlessly, by being locations in Hyrule other than just a temple and the stories that get told both on the way to them and during them. This game's version of Link is amazing, and it all starts with the opening of the game. The start of the game gets a lot of flack for being too long, but I think it's necessary for setting up the story and Link as a character. The opening shows that Link lived a normal life before what happens. He does tasks for the people in his village, plays with the kids, and they look up to him, especially this one. The long opening makes us feel the same desire to get out of Ordon that he does. So when we do get out, it feels better and it gives us more motivation to find the people that were kidnapped. Is now we care more about the characters. The next big character event we get for Link is a scene where he gets a taste of the Triforce's power. A lot of people say this is too edgy, but I think it only helps the game. Link sees a reality where him and Ilia, his childhood friend, turn on each other for the slightest chance of getting the power of the Triforce. He sees the last people that were lost to the drive for power, and for a moment falls for it as well. We all would. Link's not a flawless hero unless he's human, but eventually he snaps out of it, and despite the risks, he continues his search. Link faces many challenges that seem unbeatable, but he succeeds because of his courage. He's not courageous because he has the Triforce of Courage. He has the Triforce of Courage because he is courageous. The game handles its opening and Link's character this way, so we feel the same emotions he does. When we get the chance to retrieve Colin, we're going back because we want to, not because that's what the game wants us to do. Even the side characters get character arcs. Remember that blonde kid that looks up to Link? Eventually he builds up enough courage from watching Link that he sacrifices himself to save one of the other kids from being flattened by that big pig. And then in the end credits we see him with a wooden sword and shield. Link inspired him to be brave and he did. Zant is an amazing villain, and I disagree with people that said he should have stayed the villain instead of Ganondorf, as that goes against his character completely. When we first see him, he's composed and strong, but over the game we see his mask come off. He's no different than the people Link was warned about, someone ruled by power. Zant's drive for power was so strong that he subjected himself into being someone's puppet. On his own he's nothing. Zant is nothing, and that's the point. Even when you fight him, he uses movesets from other bosses. He's so pathetic he can't even fight with his own moves. And when you do get down to fighting him one-on-one, he flails about with no method to what he's doing. He doesn't know how to act on his own. He's nothing without his power. The best character in the game is Midna. Midna's first seen spying on Link from behind a tree in the Twilight and Gulfaran woods, when Link transforms into his wolf form. She originally joins Link on his quest so that she can acquire the 3 fragments of the Fused Shadow to defeat Zant and reclaim her throne. Zant offers her to join him so they can rule together, saying that she shouldn't help Link because he's a Light Dweller, the same people that banished her people to the Twilight Realm, but she refuses. Over the game she sees Link act selflessly, and she realises that Light Dwellers are good people and she wants to protect them. When the fragments are taken away from her by Zant, he banishes her to the Light Realm, when Midna's Desperate Hour sequence occurs, and everyone ran as fast as they could to Zelda. The music and the rain make this scene so much more impactful. The people that she was told were selfish are rushing her for help. When her and Link get to Zelda, Midna tells her to save Link and turn him back to normal. Midna, someone from the Twilight Realm, wants to save someone she's supposed to hate, and then Zelda sacrifices herself to save Midna. Another Light Dweller helps her. The end of the game is amazing, with it being revealed that she's the Twilight Princess. They repair the mirror, the only door between her world and Link's. She begins to tell Link something, but stops herself before destroying the mirror to make sure nothing like this happens again. She lets the person she trusts the most go so she can protect the Light Dwellers, the people that banished her and her people. I've seen theories that Midna fell in love with Link and didn't tell him so he didn't have to live his life with the pain of leaving the person he loved, and I don't think that's unrealistic. She does say Link I, then stops, so this is what I'm going with as canon. This game is a masterpiece, and I hope this video helps someone appreciate it as much as I do, and realise it is the best Zelda game.